On the Twin Cities Film Fest red carpet, I'm so excited. Ballard Spahr sponsored, but this is Blythe Whealy alongside some awesome filmmakers here in the industry. So first we have right next to me Cynthia Uhrich, and it's so exciting to talk with you. But as well, we have Rudy Pavich. And so it's so fun because your guys' film is screening here today. So we'll get into that, the nitty gritty. But first of all, can you tell me a little bit about your film, Everyone Goes in the Lake? Just maybe that backstory for our audience.
Oh, sure.
Who wants to take it? Do you want to take it?
No, I think we both can. Well, Rudy wrote the script, and it's very funny. At the same time, it's kind of dark, and it's got a whole other level of meaning, which has to do with the complexity of relationships moving from being fun and carefree and moving into more mature considerations. And it revolves around a dog. Their dog has died. And they need to make sure that they get it into the lake, which is where all of the deceased in our protagonist's story goes, and the struggle that they're having with doing that.
Yeah. So, Rudy, do you want to add to this?
Yeah, well, essentially what happened was I had an idea while driving to my cabin and brought it up to my girlfriend, and she said, "That's a terrible idea. Nobody would ever watch that movie." So to spite her, I made a movie. It ended up in the Twin Cities Film Festival, and now I don't have a girlfriend. So, hey, look at that. Things worked out. What do you know? What do you know? So, yeah. So Cynthia got on board. I wrote the script and had shopped it around to a few directors. And at some point, because I knew you were working on like 4 or 5 other films at the time, and I'm like, she just doesn't have time for me, and I don't want to bring her my film. She'll obviously say no. And I brought it to her, and she took one look at it and went, yeah, I think if you let me kind of just take this and, form it into what it can be, we can make this film together. And luckily, Cynthia, put her touch on it, and now you will see it here in the next 45 minutes.
Well, and really, we need to give a little credit to Jeremy Bandow, who is a screenwriter who was teaching at MCTC and was a colleague of mine. And so I reached out to him because I thought the script was terrific, but it needed a little bit of finessing, and it's always a good idea to get
up, as they would say, a zhuzhin, a good zhuzhin.
Yeah, and it's always a good idea to get someone else's eyes on a script that you're doing to help make it just that much better. So
yeah,
and Rudy was open to it. So.
Yeah, which is awesome. No, I know him. He's an easygoing guy. He's great. But so for you guys, so when you're kind of going into this film, what was something, maybe some of those fun moments on set that you're like, wow, like that day or that part was really exciting. We're glad this happened. Was there some of those moments here on this one?
Well, when we shot this thing, we shot it over like a 4-day period in northern Minnesota, and then we would get back together once every like 4 months to do some insert shots. And the reason why we did that is we wanted to shoot some in the summertime, in the winter, in the fall, in the spring, and kind of have like these different seasons. And we would not see each other for 3 or 4 months and have very limited contact. And then one day we'd all get together, and Terry and Jason, who didn't want to come on the red carpet, you cowards, we would all get together for 3 or 4 hours on a Saturday and just crank out a quick scene. And during that time, it would remind you about how much fun you had during those 4 days in the summertime when we all got together and cranked this thing out. So it was great, yeah.
And I felt like it added a lot to the script to have more than one season in Minnesota represented. Yeah. And I know it was really a hard decision because, of course, you want to see your short film get made right away, get edited so everybody can see it and you can start doing things with it. But we kind of decided, okay, no, we're going to really commit to the seasons of Minnesota and take our time and do it the right way. And Rudy's work with editing was amazing, and the music that he selected really added a lot to it.
And that was all Cynthia with the seasons. I was just like, well, let's just get together Saturday and Sunday. We'll crank these out. Let's just move it along. She's like, I think we should wait. I'm like, do you know how cold it is in January? I don't want to go out on a frozen lake, but we did, and it was awesome. And yeah. Mm-hmm.
Carved a hole in the lake,
yeah.
and we went ahead and we shot it, and it adds just this other little element that makes the movie, I think, extra special. Because a lot of people wouldn't put the time and the care into doing those things, so, yeah.
What were maybe some of those challenges that you guys had to overcome? Obviously, seasons probably was one of them, but was there any other challenges maybe that you learned or something that you're like, wow, we definitely had to overcome this today?
Our last day of filming, we had our bar. Unfortunately, he showed up
Yes.
kind of late because he was hungover from the night before, hanging out with these guys,
Yeah.
having some cocktails.
It happens.
He
yeah.
was very accommodating, though. It was just fine. But so we had a late start. We lost about an hour and a half of our shooting time, but we managed.
Yeah, and then then right after that, we basically had to pack it up and drive to northern Minnesota to go do another shot that was like 2 hours away. So then we get there, and the gentleman who owned the bar that we shot at, we got there, and the guy had the flu. So then we're like, okay, now what? Oh, so we're just going to do this in the parking lot, I guess, and it turned out great. Yeah. So, yeah.
So even as you went into casting, so obviously it wasn't just you in the film, even though you have a really big part in it. What was it like, finding those other castmates?
Wow.
Well, first off, we had so many people come out and audition for it, and they were all great.
Oh, yeah.
And Cynthia,
Lots of great women.
yeah, and Cynthia came out and said there's one girl in particular I think we should definitely consider and talk about, and it was Bethany McCade, who actually got married today. Congratulations, Bethany! It's fantastic. It's so great. She said, I think we really needed to talk about it. And we went back and we watched her audition, and being in the audition with Bethany, she was doing things that I didn't see that Cynthia did see. And that, when I saw the audition from the outside looking in, went, oh, obviously she is our choice. Yeah, and we had such good chemistry between the two of us, and she's so loose and fast on her feet, and she thinks so quick that, and she's got so many years and hours of experience that it just she really does she knocks it out of the park with this performance. Yeah.
So I'm glad that you brought that up. We only have a few more seconds here on the red carpet, but it was a lot of females working behind the scenes on a lot of this stuff, which was really exciting as well. So something I just want to make sure we mentioned. What was that like having that cast or that crew that you guys had on here?
That's a real goal of my film production company, In the Moment Films, and really I'm very interested in finding women to work as crew members, both behind the scenes and in front of the camera, and thankfully Rudy knew that already, and he had some great ideas too of people that he thought should crew. We brought Terry Birnbaum with us. She's our cinematographer. She does a fabulous job. I had worked with Rick Muehlbach as one of my students for many years, and I brought him to audition for the project, and so there were lots of ladies. We had a couple of men, but lots of ladies. That's kind of my goal.
Like you said, how exciting. Well, you guys, I know that we have to wrap it up here on the red carpet, but it's been such a pleasure talking with you guys. I'm so excited for your guys' film to screen. Thank you for being here with us today, you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Good luck. Have a great time this time.
Good to see you again.
But you guys, this is Blythe Whealy here on the Twin Cities Film Fest red carpet, and we will be back with you shortly with some more action here.